welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host Chris Branch, the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear when it comes to generative AI. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so like every episode, we only focus on one particular subject. And today we're going to talk about a piece of technology that absolutely blew our minds, and we just think the possibilities of this, like with most of AI, is amazing stroke scary stroke I don't know where this is going to go. And this is to do with one of the big boys in the space, and that is Google. So Google's released its DeepMind model, and it's a part of the AI music tool softwares that they're creating. In a nutshell, essentially, there's many things you can do, but one of the things that blew our mind was the fact that you can now hum something and it can turn it into an instrument and produce the music. So I could hum something that, I don't know, some song that I've got in my mind, and I can select saxophone and it can turn it into a saxophone playing that particular piece of music that I just hummed. You know, unbelievable. Like, for me, this is just like, wow. Chris, as a producer, a former producer, or definitely a music technician, what do you think?
I wish I had this 10 years ago, is what I was thinking. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is some Star Trek level stuff. But honestly, like, looking at the progression of everything we've seen in marketing, like voice to voice, it makes total sense. You know, like, I could be a woman, and all I need to do that is speak exactly how I normally would and press the AI woman button. And then it sounds like a woman said exactly the same thing that I just said. So it makes sense that you can, like, transcribe in a way. Not to complicate this, because this is breaking it down for easy stuff, but in music technology, there's something called MIDI, which is just basically notes that are created when you type on like a keyboard that's like a MIDI keyboard, and it enters it into a digital workstation. So, and there's another thing called Melodyne Editor, which is like, you know, what T-Pain and all those use to make their stuff sound like auto-tuned. So again, you could see this coming, right, from a music industry point of view, where quite literally you would just go in, especially people like Timbaland and other producers who just sit and, you know, just make beats on the fly in their studio, just hum that thing, have an AI like mock up what that could sound like. And if you like it, go and actually make it, you know, like that's the progression and the workflow that will happen with music tech now, which is insane.
Yeah. But this is taking producing, like before we were talking about prompting. I type, make me a drum and bass song of 160 beats per minute, whatever, quite mellow, I'd be for chill music, and it could create some song. Now, it's almost taken that to the next level. And this is new anyway. The prompt music is new anyway. Now you're saying that I can even hum the song and it can create what I've basically said. And then I guess you can speed it up, slow it down. Yeah, this is crazy. This, like with a lot of the technology, will make some people say, wow, I can't wait to use this. And this is if you're going to try this, put aside a few hours, because this is going to be something that is going to kill your time drastically. But if I'm a producer, I'll be pissed, if I'm being honest. I will not be happy with this technology, you know, that's coming.
It's come for everything, you know. So we were saying this months ago, if you're in any industry right now doing anything like that, it's coming for you. So you need to prepare for it. Now, I don't think it will affect the top producers. I think like everything AI has ever touched, it will just affect the below average ones. And so just preparing yourself for like knowing that that's going to be the base layer now. The first thing I thought about is, you know, these Coca-Cola Christmas cards that we've been doing. Imagine if you could hum a Christmas tune inside that and then add that to your card. So you generated the image, you generated the text, you generated the music, you generated every part of that greetings card, Christmas card, whatever it was. Like, imagine that. But the biggest thing, and we've seen this because of, you mentioned this in the introduction, Google is part of, you know, DeepMind is part of Google. They are separate, and they are a separate AI company within Google, but Google owns YouTube, and YouTubers are the first ones to get this technology. And
Yeah.
obviously, when you think about intro songs, intro music, royalty free, copyright free, there's been a massive issue with copyright music, and strikes on YouTube for a long time now.
Yeah, I
So
think
it
it has been
makes
for a while.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense that they'd have like a database based on royalty free music that you could then sample in. Now, another thing I thought when you said that is, again, like tech head on here, it makes so much sense because all prompting is natural language input that's then converted into ones and zeros, and then
Yeah.
you get an image or some text out the back. So humming can be converted to ones and zeros just the same way entering natural language can. It doesn't
Yeah.
make really much of a difference to the AI, whereas to us, it's drastically different to hear someone humming as to see them typing some text. But to a computer, it's all ones and zeros. So,
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't know the difference. And
nope.
the other thing as well is I can then imagine the next step where you hum something, it then creates music, and then you can also then it'll create a video that matches the music as well. Like
Oh,
you
totally.
can imagine all of that is just going to be based on you humming something. I think that
Totally.
two things that I think that kind of like from what you were saying kind of like got me thinking. One, YouTube and all of them will be doing this soon is some form of watermark to state that this is AI. Will that encompass that? You know?
Yes, in fact, actually, I was reading the white paper, and this is the
Mm,
first ever time that it's been possible to do this. And not only that, you're going to be fascinated by this. I don't know how this works exactly, but if you made a copy of that track, i.e., you changed the MP3 to a different MP3, you re recorded it, somehow the AI watermark still stays in there.
mm,
So it's the first time they've been able to bridge something across, like, changing the original file that was downloaded, and it
yes,
still somehow understand that it was AI generated. So
I
I
can
don't know
tell you
how
this
they've
right
managed
now.
this. So
That's not going to be 100% accurate. So there's going to be a lot of people that's going to
no.
be annoyed to say that. Hold on a minute. I actually created this, and now you're saying it's AI. So I think that's going to be interested in that. The other thing as well that springs to mind is copyright.
Mm,
And that's the thing. It's like because I might hum something that I don't know, something that's in my mind. So I don't know. I'm humming something like. Now I'm just making it up on the spot, but I don't know if that's another song in a genre of music that I've never heard of.
mm,
But actually, it might look at that and say, "No, this sounds too familiar to this."
mhm,
And that means if I put that on a YouTube video, and the way a lot of YouTube works is if it recognizes it, it tells the original producer, and then they can monetize that way from other people's stuff.
mhm,
But I actually might not have realized that. So, and how familiar is familiar? Because that's always been an issue when it comes to humans. And obviously the humans are going to program the technology. So again, there's going to be a lot of gray areas. But just like with everything, I would say over the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a lot of learning, a lot of trial and error, a lot of
mhm,
mistakes, a lot of like leaps and bounds forward. You know,
mhm.
and I feel this is going to be an area. Anything to do with music and creativity, I feel is going to be a area where it's going to be a lot of grey area because it happened before. It happened in music 20 years ago.
Mhm.
So and history repeats itself. So you're going to see the whole thing happen over and over again.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the visuals though, like you said, like
Yeah,
because
same.
that's the combination, right? That was MTV is music plus
Yeah,
visuals. Like, music videos could be the next most creative thing that you do with AI. I could totally see
yeah,
that working. But yeah,
yeah,
in a nutshell, for this one, I'd say just like we predicted many months ago, this is coming for everything creative, music, video, images, text, any single medium, PDS, blogs, like everything is coming for all of it. It's just
yeah,
about how good it is until it's ready to roll out into the industry and become something
yeah.
that people actually use. And if
And
YouTube's the first one to do it, they might get it go to hundreds of millions of
yeah,
people straight away.
yeah. So everyone, think of all those songs that you've been humming or you've been making up. Get when
Yeah.
it becomes available. Keep looking because and see the software what it's going to be. Could it be available across many different platforms? Obviously,
Mm.
YouTube is going to be one of the first. But start humming, start creating your music, and have fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. This.
Yep.